It's a brand new year and you might be thinking, what am I going to do with my business this year? How am I going to grow my business? I have an idea for a new offer, but I don't want to spend too much time building it and then no one comes, that whole thing. And maybe you've heard that you're supposed to put out a lot of free content and kind of test out content and then see what does well, maybe throw out some free lead magnets, see what does well and then build it. But you're not really interested in wasting a ton of time doing free stuff and not making any money because you are a for-profit business. Well, if this is you, I have some great news for you today. I'm actually going to share with you the best funnel to use to test out a brand new offer without spending a lot of time and energy and actually getting paid for it and no more freebies. Hey, I'm Kathy of Funnelworgis, and I'm actually going to dive over into my computer. I'm going to show you the funnel from top to bottom, exactly what's included, all the things you need, and you're gonna love this. This is one of the easiest funnels that you can possibly launch, and dare I say, some of the easiest money you might ever make. All right, let's dive in. All right, so I've jumped over to my computer and I'm going to show you the actual funnel that we give everybody inside of one of our amazing programs called Easy Launch It. It is a paid workshop funnel. We actually drop this into people's accounts on FG Funnels, and you just kind of have to change it. It's pretty easy. And I know easy is subjective. There's two things that I'm saying that are easy. Number one, it's not a very complicated funnel. It actually doesn't have a lot of the elements that normal funnels do. It's like a very simplified version of a funnel. And number two, our FG Funnel software makes it super easy to actually physically edit. There's global colors, so you just swap out a color and every color of that's like that changes, stuff like that. You know, we have these really cool graphics here that are not graphics, they're SVGs, so you can change out all the colors on there. You don't have to go into Photoshop or Canva or anything. So it's pretty easy both ways. So that's kind of what I mean by easy. And that's actually why it's called Easy Launch It. But I really want to show you and break down the sections and why these sections exist here and kind of what is happening with the psychology here. So the idea of a paid workshop is it is a live workshop. So it's not like a course where you have a bunch of things recorded, you have slide deck and all the things, right? And it's not this big long thing. You don't have the community. It's just the day of. So they show up, you do the workshop and they get the recording and you're done. So it's one of the easiest things you could launch. And that's why it's really great to use. It's a great tool. It's like a secret weapon in testing out offers. The other thing and why this is such a great secret weapon for testing out offers is because it's not free. They're actually paying for it. So sometimes people test out offers by giving freebies. The problem is what people will download is different than what people will buy. And so sometimes it's the same, and sometimes you can kind of see when people are downloading information that it's a hot topic, but it's really about putting their money where their mouth is and what are people willing to pay for. So if people are willing to pay for a workshop, they're almost always likely willing to pay for it in a bigger sense, meaning either a service or a bigger course or an event or something else like that. So that's why this is a really good way to test out an offer. Or sometimes this can be like a micro offer. This is a small offer, just a little piece of what you teach. And then the bigger one is the next offering, and it includes all of the things. Okay, so enough about what a paid workshop is. I think you guys understand that now. I want to break down the pieces here. And so with a paid workshop, it is very clear what you're selling. You don't have to oversell it because it is such an easy thing to understand for people. Oh, I show up, they teach me, I leave, right? And so you don't have to talk about really what is included very much. It's really all about the result. So this is really, really important, and something that we're working through with students right now inside of Easy Launch It is understanding that this is a results-based workshop. So you're not teaching at them, they are getting things done together. There is a result at the end. So the idea is they are paying for the result. So you're taking them from A to Z during this workshop. You're working with them, and the Z is what they're paying for. It's not the learning and the kind of teaching they're paying for. So it's a big focus. So that's mostly a sales focused, but we teach all about that inside of Easy Launch It. And I want to explain that really quickly to you guys so that you can see that there's not a lot of sales copy. It's really just, hey, you have this problem. I have this solution. Would you like to do this together and get this solved by the end of this workshop. So the sales copy is a lot easier than usual. So here we're going straight in. We're talking about, the early bird price ends soon, but not a lot of sales copy up here. You're going to have your title of your workshop. So this one, for example, is Tots to Disney Workshop, the Disney Trip Planning Workshop specifically for families with children under 5 and under. So basically the idea is this is a workshop that's going to show you how to do Disney with your toddler, period. Very clear and easy to understand. You either have a toddler and you're going to Disney or you're not, right? Very clear and easy to understand. First thing we need to know is the date. We have the date here. We have the times in all of the different time zones of wherever your people are. You have this visual of a graphic that shows it's an actual graphic. This is an actual admission for an event and it's not a course, right? And of course here you're going to have that it's live, all that kind of stuff here. They can reserve their spot already if they're ready to go. If they already heard about it somewhere else on social media and they're ready to buy, give them a chance to buy right away. So here's where we start to introduce the problem and kind of what they've tried before and how this is different, because we already know what it is. We already know the solution that it's creating, but why is this one different? Why this workshop versus something else that I'm choosing? And so kind of right here, we're sort of talking about tired of scouring YouTube videos and blogs to duct tape together the most expensive vacation you've ever planned, right? And so that's going to immediately go, okay, this is different because it's not just another YouTube video. It's not just another blog, right? The Tots to Disney Workshop will help you quickly and with ease pick the perfect resort, purchase the right amount of tickets and reservations, and help you plan a touring experience that works for young families to make sure you get all those magical moments without the meltdown. So now we know what will be taught here, right? And then kind of just some other things, all of this with special hacks and strategies for those with strollers, napping toddlers, and diapers. So we're kind of reiterating, we understand what you're up against, we understand the problem fully, and this works even for those that have these specific circumstances, right? And then you're going to have a testimonial here saying that you're amazing, and then here's what you can expect to accomplish. So now we're talking about by the end of this workshop, you're going to list out everything that they will have completed by the end of the workshop and or have a plan to complete. So sometimes these workshops are, you're not going to actually solve the problem by the end of the workshop, but they're going to have a plan, a map, like a roadmap to solve the problem. So you don't want to just teach about the problem. They are actually going to have a game plan, even if the game plan has to be, done after the workshop. It's either they're doing it during the workshop or they're going to have a solid game plan in order to be able to do it after the workshop. That's really what we're going for here. This is why a paid workshop is so different than a webinar where it's just teaching a problem and then opening up to a solution. This is open and close. You have the solution, whether you've done it or you're taking it to the next thing and you're doing it right after the workshop. But the idea is that it is self-contained. Okay, so then you're going to have a call to actions. Are you ready for those magical moments without the meltdowns? You're going to have another testimonial. Sounds amazing, right? Because that testimonial is going to be talking about how you solve this problem through this workshop or through a similar thing. And then again, here is what is actually included in the workshop. This is the packaging, right? So up here, we're talking about what you can expect to accomplish. Down here, we're talking about what is actually included with my purchase. It's going to talk about the length, what's included. Are there recordings? Is there a workbook that goes with it? Is there a Q&A? And then a couple bonuses. Sometimes people throw in some bonus training, something like that. Now we're fully clear. We know everything that's included. We know what we're going to get afterwards. We know what we're going to receive during the workshop, what the package includes. So maybe there's a couple more questions. Here's your chance to kind of answer any of those questions that have popped out. But what about me? What about this? What about that circumstance? What if I can't come? Like whatever all the questions are, right? You're going to have those here. You're overcoming all the objections. And then you're going to do the offer stack, showing them again the value and how the value relates to what they're paying. How much were all these things that you included? How much is it worth? $325, $125. The bonus is $25 and $100. The value is total value $600, but today's price is only $25. So you can understand, okay, I see the value of all the things that are included. Now I understand it's a great deal on top of it. Another testimonial here, and then a guarantee. And that is it, guys. Again, we always want to have a button at the very bottom, so that way if they make the decision at the bottom, they can click the bottom too. But you'll see we have buttons throughout. Book your seat, join the workshop, book your seat, reserve your spot now. And then the last one is book your seat. So just the idea is that wherever they make the decision, whatever, piece they needed to read in order to make that final decision, that the button is clear and it's nearby and they can just click it, not have to scroll up or down or any of that. Again, this idea of having this satisfaction guarantee, or some kind of a guarantee, is just to kind of close out that risk loop of like, well, what if they're not really good at this? Or what if I'm not good enough at this? Or what if I can't finish this by the end of the workshop? So you're kind of, giving them a little bit of a risk reversal and, hey, I got you covered. Don't worry about anything. If you're not satisfied, you don't have to pay. We don't have to have that type of guarantee, but it is recommended you have some kind of a guarantee. Anytime you're able to reduce that risk, you're going to get a lot more yeses than you get refunds. So just think of it that way. Okay, so that is the sales page. That's the hardest part of the funnel. But here are a couple more pages that are also included. Of course, the order form, what happens when they click to get out. Then you're going to have what happens when they click to buy. And then you're going to have the order confirmation page. It's just going to tell them what to expect next. Hey, your checkout was successful. You're going to get an email from me in a few minutes confirming. Make sure you bring blah, blah, blah. Like if they need to bring something like a notebook and a pen, if they need to bring a notebook and a pen, or maybe they don't bring anything and they just need to block off 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever, you're just giving them a little bit of what to expect next, what's going to happen next. And if you need any terms and conditions or privacy policy, if you don't already have one on your main site, or if you don't even have a main site, we just included those here, but those are optional. But you can see this is a relatively easy funnel, not a lot of information. You're really doing a lot of the value in the actual workshop, but you can see how this is not a very complicated funnel. And inside of FG Funnels, it is so easy to make these changes as well. It's really pretty similar to anything you're used to, drag and drop. You just kind of type the different things in here. You can change your colors out right here, just, swap them out. You could change the fonts and stuff if you wanted to, but you really don't have to. And then, changing out images, stuff like that. But everything is really, just clicking and literally picking a new image. It's a really slick funnel. The first time we ever taught Easy Launch It, we had hundreds of people launch because it is such an easy funnel to create. It's really a much easier thing to teach versus a course. And people really love that you can kind of test out different ideas, but also get paid for it and launch it and fulfill it in a much easier way. So what do you think? Did I deliver on my promise? That was a pretty easy funnel, don't you think? Seems very doable. If you want to join us inside Easy Launch It, it is open all the time. It also includes free access to the software, so you will get this exact funnel, and all you have to do is swap out the colors and add the information for your paid workshop. Check that out at easylaunchit.com. And if you have any questions about paid workshops or paid workshop titles, if you want to kind of talk about them in the comments, throw them in the comments below, and check us out at Funnel Gorgeous all over social or in our free community, The Marketer's Heart. And I will see you guys on the next one.